What is going up, you degenerates? Got Kyle and Cole from Sports Pulse here, bringing you guys another weekly NFL rundown. A little victory lap from last week. We kind of killed it, man. In the VIP Discord, I give out my gold, my silver, my bronze props. 5-0 sweep on the gold ones. After a 4-0 sweep last week with one push because Anthony Richardson got injured. We're hot, man. We're hot right now. Coming off Monday Night Football, another 5-0 for me. Hockey started yesterday. 3-1, all plus money props hit a plus 210. I don't know what to say other than we're hot right now. Cole, what do you got to say?
Yeah, if you're not in the Discord, you must fucking hate money at this point. I mean, we are just constantly winning at every sport you can think of. We got football, we got hockey, we got baseball until the end of the season there. We got anything you can imagine pretty much. UFC every weekend, damn near. And then, of course, NBA starting up pretty soon. So we'll be having some props for that too. Just insane records across the board in every sport. So make sure you jump in. Even the free plays that have been hitting, even if you don't want to join VIP, we still get free plays for every primetime NFL game, as well as the odd one for some other sports here and there.
Yeah, and then Cole here's been giving out a play of the day every single day. It's been mostly baseball. 5 days in a row. Ew, man.
Right.
Ew.
And these are all even money props. Like these are no minus 250 props like you see in some other discords. These are straight locks at even money. And it's just crazy.
Yeah, man, it's ridiculous. You pay $30 a month, $1 a day, a singular dollar a day. You get plays from three different guys. Our guy Sal, he's been killing it. He keeps it a little bit lighter as of recently. He went 2-0 for the Jets game last night, 2-0 on Contender Series, 1-0 in the MLB. He's on a run too. We're printing off some money. We got a 50% off code going on right now until the end of the week, until the start of the NFL games. Code Jaden Reed, all caps, on Winnable, will get you 50% off. That is $15 for a whole month. 50 cents a day.
You
50
can't
cents
beat
a day.
that
You
value, man.
you can't afford 50 cents a day? Don't gamble. I don't know what to tell you, man.
For real, for real.
All right, hopping into the first game of the slate here, we got the Jaguars taking on the Bears at Soldier Field. And I think this is Bears -2 all day.
Yeah, I don't understand the spread at all. Jags still looking like the worst team in the NFL. They got their first one last week, and going into their second home in London. I don't think that quite matters for this team. The coaching is bad. The offense is bad. Their offensive line is still probably the worst in the league at this point. Just not giving T-Law much to work with, and I don't like this team at all. Bears looked really good last week. They were playing kind of a shitty team, but they still looked real good. Caleb Williams is finally coming to form, showing off the reason that he was drafted number one overall. I think Bears -2 all the way here.
Yeah, I think it kind of shows against these trash teams. Caleb Williams actually has a little bit of talent, like a little bit. Against the Colts, for example, he threw for 350 something yards, couple touchdowns. We just want Caleb Williams to get his experience going on these trash teams so he can really get some confidence. I think DJ Moore is going to have a great week. You might even see Romo Dunze get his like one catch for 50 yards. I don't understand that guy's role, but it is what it is. I think the Bears should take this one. If you're in the Discord, the VIP, Cole gave this out at -1 earlier in the week. But the Texans taking on the Patriots. 7 points is a little gross, a little greasy. I like 6.5 better here for the Texans, but I think I'm going with the Texans all day. I mean, there's been
Yeah, definitely.
a lot of big upsets. I think last week both games over 5.5 point spreads ended in the underdog covering, but I just don't see that happening here. The Patriots have not shown to be anything special. The Texans, we were a little worried for a bit, and then they just crushed the Bills. I think they're going to crush the Patriots too.
Yeah, a little tidbit here. So Drake May is going to be starting his first game of the year. Obviously, rookie, number three overall draft pick, if I'm not mistaken. It was either, yeah, I think it was
Yep.
three. Um, for the Patriots there, and I wasn't too high on him coming out of the draft. And with this Patriots team, it doesn't have much to work with. Both running backs have insane ball security issues, and I think the Texans defense can take advantage of that a couple times. Um, I like the Texans a lot here.
And a little interesting trend that I kind of picked up on when you get these rookie quarterbacks coming in, Maybe if they're not even rookies, maybe they're just not in the offense. First year on the team, it's going to be check down city. He's going to feel the pressure. He's going to check it off. Look for Ramondre Stevenson on the receptions, on the receiving yards, on the rushing yards. I think they're going to lean on him heavily. Even if they're losing, I think he's still going to be getting most of the work in this offense because I don't think Drake May trusts himself to make those passes. And if he does, I think the Houston secondary is going to be able to pick him off. Probably look for Drake May to throw an interception in this game. Not a knock on him, he just doesn't have the experience needed to take on a powerhouse like these Texans. Even without Nico Collins, they're still 7-point favorites, which is insanity.
And losing Nico Collins, obviously that's a huge hit to the offense. But if you look at their other receivers, they still got Diggs, they still got Tank Dell, they still got Dalton Schultz as a tight end. They're getting Joe Mixon back. I mean, that offense is stacked. So while losing Nico Collins is obviously it's going to have a big effect on them, I think that it's not going to be too noticeable, especially against a trash Patriots defense.
On to the next game. Speaking of the draft class, Jaden Daniels. What did I tell you guys last week? Showing out again, a phenomenal performance. Great passes. I'll get my glazing out of the way because unfortunately we're probably going with the Ravens. Last season, super high on Lamar. He won me a lot of money last year. But I've been super high on Jaden Daniels this year, so it's a little tough for me in this matchup. Two quarterbacks I really like, two teams I like. I think the Ravens are the better team. The Commanders have been surging, but I think the Ravens are going to kind of put them down a little bit. I think this game has shootout potential. You see the over-under is 51.5, which is ridiculous. That's a very high over-under. And it's crazy to me that I'm kind of leaning towards the over. I think both these offenses are going to show out. I think the Ravens are going to score a lot. The Commanders' defense is a little bit worse than the Ravens. Even though the Ravens are banged up and damaged, I think the Commanders will be playing from behind here, and I think it'll be a close game, but a little bit out of reach.
Yeah, we've been waiting for the Jaden Daniels regression, and by we, I mean everybody but Kyle, pretty much. I think it might happen this game. I'm not saying again that's not a knock on Jaden Daniels, but I at some point there's going to be some bumps in the rookie season, and I think this is going to be one of them. I've been saying for a while now that Lamar is just a better Jaden Daniels. You know, their play styles are pretty similar. Lamar, he's a veteran. He's been in the league for a long time at this point, and he's not looking like he's going to be slowing down anytime soon. So I like the Ravens here.
Going on to the next game here, we got the Browns going into Philly. +9, isn't it? Gross, gross spread.
Disgusting. Disgusting. And
Yeah.
the money line doesn't provide much value either. Definitely Eagles here. I'm not touching a bet in this game. This is just gross. The Browns are ass. Yeah, the Eagles should destroy them. I am not touching anything in this game though. Maybe some props later in the week, but yeah, I don't like the spread. I don't like the money lines.
It's such a shame that the Browns will not start Deshaun Watson. That just really sucks for their organization. It sucks for their fans. He isn't going anywhere. If you watch any
Yeah.
NFL talk show, any NFL podcast, you'll see the hot topic right now is can you name 100 quarterbacks better than Deshaun Watson in the NFL? And I think you can. I think you
I
can.
think you easily can. The ESPN just put out an article this morning, actually titled "Deshaun Watson has more settled lawsuits than touchdowns thrown since he's joined the Browns."
Yeah, that offense is just absolutely pitiful. I mean, the Eagles have a trash secondary by all means. Amari Cooper should have a great game, should go for 100 yards, should score a touchdown, but he has Diddy throwing him the ball. He's not going to do it. I mean, he's going to have Slay on him. Trash cornerback. Trash. Absolute garbage. I target this guy every single week on the wide receiver one matchup, but I feel like I can't even because I can't trust Deshaun Watson to get the ball off in time. The Cardinals and the Packers. This game right here is going to be electric in my opinion. Now, I do think the Packers are going to win. However, I think the spread is a little tall. I think the Cardinals coming off of that amazing win against the Niners, albeit a little hazy there with Moody going out. But I think the Packers should win. I don't know if they cover the 5-point spread. I think the value could be Arizona on the money line. What are you thinking?
I agree, but plus 185 on Arizona. I'm going to be sprinkling that a little bit. I agree. I think the Packers will probably pull this one out, but the value is there for the Cardinals. I'm still super high on Arizona. They have a great team, great offense, and Kyler Murray's looking great, looking excellent this year, and obviously Marvin Harrison Jr. is top target. So I really like the Cardinals as a team. However, at Lambeau, yeah, it is a little tough, and that's probably where the spread is coming from. I still think that Cardinals value is there on the money line.
And then if you guys are thinking, I don't really know if I trust their opinion, we know our Cardinals. We picked the Commanders to cover against the Cardinals. We picked the Cardinals to outright beat the 49ers last week. We gave out the money line on the Cardinals,
Yes,
plus
sir.
220. So I think you can trust us here. The Cardinals, they may not win this game, but they are worth a sprinkle. It's where the value is going to be. I think this game's going to play out a lot closer. Romeo Dobbs still a little questionable for the Packers. They don't really know what's going on with him. He was throwing a temper tantrum, throwing a fit. He didn't like his role on the team as like the wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3. But Christian Watson's still out. The guy's made of glass, like I said last week. Get him off the team. And then Jaden Reed, obviously. Jordan Love still making some questionable decisions, throwing 65-yard passes and in triple coverage. Jaden Reed's a beast, so he's catching that. But you can't be making those passes, man. That's not a pass that should have been made. Glad it worked out for him, though. But I do think that Jordan Love will probably throw another interception. So if you want to bet that's not a side in this game, take that one.
Another prop that I really like is Dontavian Wicks over on receptions. Should be at like 3.5 on most books for even money. He had some drop issues last week, and you look at that and you think, okay, this guy's hands are made of butter, and you don't feel too confident going forward with him. But the thing about that is, with the number of targets, with the number of attempts he had at actually catching it, he was wide open on 75% of them. This guy knows how to get open. Defenses are going to be keying in on Jaden Reed. They're going to be trying to lock him down as much as possible. I think if Dontavian Wicks, if he can figure out those Butterfinger issues, he's never really had those issues before in previous years. I think he can have a nice big game for the Packers here.
Yeah, and then last week, like I said, Jaden Reed was in triple coverage, 65 yards down the field, so far away from everyone else. That wasn't just a zone. He has 2 guys following him and the zone safety. I think something like that's going to happen again. Jaden Reed might catch one big ball, but I think you're going to have to look for the guys like Romeo Dobbs and Wicks here. I think they're going to be the ones that are more open. Jaden Reed's going to be carrying 2 guys on him the whole game. The guy's incredibly talented. He's definitely the wide receiver 1. So probably look for those smaller guys. Tucker Kraft, another beast. His reception line, 2.5. I love it every single week. You want to sprinkle a little on him to get a touchdown again. I think like we're on the goal line maybe. Everything's taken up. They haven't really been running it with Josh Jacobs on the goal line as much. Look for a little play action over the top.
And with Kraft, you still have that kind of big playability. I think one of his touchdowns last week, it was 25, 30 yards out or something along those lines.
Buddy,
He was
try
making dudes
60.
miss.
Try
It was
60.
60?
60 yards.
Wow. Yeah, well,
He's moving.
that
He's
proves my
moving
point
too.
even more. That dude, he's a beast. He's very good in space, and really anything can happen if you get him the ball. So definitely like the touchdown there.
Yeah, when that guy stepped foot in the end zone, he looked like he was going for another 50 yards. It was a 66-yard touchdown. All right, then we got the Buccaneers coming in to take on the Saints. Saints 3.5-point dogs at home, and I do think it makes sense. You want to explain why?
Yeah, so it sounds like, at least at this point in the week, that Spencer Rattler is going to be starting for the Saints. And, he was very highly touted early in his college career. A lot of people had him going number 1 overall, actually, in that draft class. He ended up kind of falling off the map a little bit. He's not as good as people once thought. And it's his first start in the NFL against a very tough, tough Buccaneers team. I don't think it's going to go too well for him. I'm going to be on Buccaneers money line, Buccaneers spread here.
Yeah, and I think people are going to be deceived by the fact that Kirk Cousins just threw 4 touchdowns against the Buccaneers. That game was a shootout. This game will not be a shootout, okay? I think Spencer Rattler, he can probably get a touchdown. He can maybe throw 2. But I don't think it's going to be enough to win this game. I think Baker Mayfield's going to do what he does. Look downfield, find Mike Evans, find Godwin. And I think the Buccaneers are probably going to cover this spread and win by at least a touchdown. We got the Colts taking on the Titans. Now, this game right here, I'm going to get my Anthony Richardson slander on, all right? This game depends on whether or not Anthony Richardson plays, and not in the way you'd expect, all right? If Anthony Richardson is back, the Colts are probably going to lose. I think the Colts are 10 times better a team without Anthony Richardson on there and with Joe Flacco starting. You see last week how this guy is spreading the ball, how multiple receivers are getting 40, 50 yards. It's just insane. Anthony Richardson, what's he good for? A deep ball that's going to get intercepted 2 to 3 times a game? It's fucking ridiculous. Get this guy out of here. Start Joe Flacco. Let Anthony Richardson learn behind him. I know they don't want to waste their draft pick or whatever, have him sit down. That's what he needs. He needs to learn how to make better decisions when he's in the pocket and he's under pressure, okay? Joe Flacco will win this game if he starts for the Colts here. Jonathan Taylor's back. I think that's beneficial if Richardson's playing because you can hand it off and you don't have to rely on his passing inabilities. Will Levis sucks cock. Titans, trash team. Enough said. We got the Steelers and the Raiders. This game right here could be a little grisly. A little grisly. That's a word I'm going to use for this one. Because the Steelers, in my opinion, should not have lost to the Cowboys. There was some pretty blatant holding on that last play where the Cowboys got their touchdown. Obviously, you can make an argument there's holding on every play in a football game. I'm not going to whine about it too much. I didn't lose any money on that. I do think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be good enough to take down the Raiders in this spot. The Raiders are kind of a dumpster fire. Garner Minshew, he got benched last week, did he not? Who's starting this week? Do we know?
No, I have no idea actually at this point. Aiden O'Connell finished off the game last week. Yeah, really, really no idea. And honestly, I don't think it matters. I think Steelers -3 here is definitely the play.
Yeah, super low over under 36, which is crazy because I don't think the Raiders defense is that great. I think Justin Fields can make something happen. I'm probably going to target the over here. I think the Steelers can score 21 to 28 points themselves here. I could see 3 touchdowns easily. Yeah, giving the Steelers money line to be safe, -3 for fun, and the over 36.5 if you're feeling a little frisky. Chargers and Broncos. Now this game right
Gross.
here, gross. Yep, you said it before I could. Well, if you want to talk about J.K. Dobbins here, I think that's all you need to talk about for the Chargers. Justin Herbert is going to not be able to throw the ball. I like the under on Justin Herbert passing yards. You got Riley Moss and Pat Surtain in the secondary. They're going to be locking down all one of the receivers that the Chargers have. Quentin Johnston and who? Nobody.
Lad McConkey. I think together they might
Okay.
equal one receiver.
Yep. Sorry, my bad. But little white boy Riley Moss going to lock down McConkey. And that's going to be all she wrote, all right? It's going to be J.K. Dobbins. They're going to run the ball with him until he tears his ACL. And then he's going to come Gus Edwards. He's going to pick up right where J.K. Dobbins left off. And I don't think the Broncos are going to have an answer for it. The Broncos secondary has been elite this season so far, locking down these receivers at crazy rates. Last week, obviously, you saw Riley Moss and Pat Surtain both had an interception. If you're watching ESPN, you're watching Red Zone, you saw the 100-yard pick six 50 times easily. You're waiting for that Monday night game to start. They showed that pick probably 10 times in an hour. It was ridiculous, but it was a great play, obviously. It's worth showing. And I just don't think the Broncos are going to have an answer for the run game. We got Kirko heading into Carolina. Carolina 6-point dogs at home, which is insane. But, I mean, it is Falcons -6 all day, in my opinion. Andy
Yep.
Dalton, he's still charging up for his 300-yard game. Probably coming up towards like week 16, week 17, maybe he'll show out again. But he's charging right now. I think Deontay Johnson's going to be locked down. I don't think the Panthers have much options. Probably going to run the ball a lot. We saw the Buccaneers trying to work that. It was Buccaneers had a lot of success with that, actually. I shouldn't say it didn't work for him. I think Chuba Hubbard's in for a good game. But I just don't think the Panthers have the passing capabilities to keep this game that competitive. And I think Kirko's going to walk away with this one.
Yeah, you saw Kyle Pitts get involved early and often last week against the Buccaneers. I think that continues. I think they finally found a way to use him, which realistically is just throwing him the football. That's really all you need to do to get good production out of him. And maybe the Falcons finally decided to start doing that, and I think that should continue. Drake London, you got Darnell Mooney, you got Ray McLeod even getting in there. I like this Falcons offense. Obviously, Bijan in the backfield, Tyler Algier spelling him, and it's a lot to handle. And Panthers, again, their defense is trash. Their team is trash. I like the Falcons a lot here.
You got the Lions taking on the Cowboys. Last game of the 3 o'clock slate. And I think it's the Lions, in my opinion. Like I said earlier, I don't think the Cowboys actually should have won that game last week. I thought the holding was really bad on that last play, and I think the Lions just have what it takes. I think they're going to run it down the Cowboys' throats. You can't stop Gibbs getting down the field. You can't stop Monty on the goal line. It's just not an option. And I think the Lions are going to run up the score here. 52 over under. A little insane for how little production the Cowboys have been putting out there. In my opinion, I think the under might be a move there, but I think the Lions are going to score a lot here. I like the -3 a lot.
Yeah, definitely agree. And Cowboys, they're such a fucking meme, man. Every single year, Cowboys fans are like, "Oh, this is our year. This is the year we go back to the Super Bowl," and every year they just get let down massively, and it's kind of hilarious to see happen year after year. And as a Vikings fan, seeing another team just being in perpetual misery really warms my heart. So I like the Lions here. I think the Cowboys still trash, and their culture is starting to go on the decline. I think McCarthy may be starting to lose the locker room even after a win. Honestly, Cowboys fans would say that that game should not have been as close as it was, and I think the players feel the same way. The amount of money that is invested into that offense is ridiculous for the production that they've been getting. I really think the Lions are gonna take this game handily.
Yeah, I think I might even look for an alternate spread on the Lions here. I think the Lions are going to win by a lot. And then last game here, prime time. Joe Burrow taking on Danny Dimes. This is an embarrassment. Give me the Bengals -3.5.
Yeah, -3.5 should be the lock of the week. I think they came off a great performance against the Ravens, ended up losing that game, but really can't have too many complaints. The Ravens are obviously one of the best teams in the league this year. The Bengals offense is disgustingly good, just all across the board, so good. Danny Dimes in prime time, he's trash. He's trash normally, but even more so in prime time. Give me the Bengals -3.5. Give me the Bengals -6.5. That not really much else to say, I don't think.
Give me the Bengals -13.5.
Okay.
You beat the Seahawks, so fucking what? All right, it's Geno Smith at quarterback. It was only a matter of time before they lost. Yeah, we picked the Seahawks. Yeah, we lost. I don't care. We didn't bet it because we're not slow. This one is the Bengals all day. Joe Burrow is over his little 4-week hump where he's the worst quarterback in the league. Now I think Anthony Richardson or Caleb Williams is probably taking that on. Maybe Bo Nix. A lot of candidates out there for the worst quarterback. Maybe even Gardner Minshew. I just realized he got benched for Aiden O'Connell. You probably can't come back from that. But Daniel Jones, another candidate for a trash quarterback, man. This guy sucks. Is Malik Neighbors going to be back? I know he was on concussion protocol.
I don't think so actually, because usually with a concussion, that's generally a 2-week injury, and with the NFL kind of cracking down on that, I don't think he'll be back. He really shouldn't be back. There's no reason he should really be playing much at all this year. He's one of the only players actually probably the only player on that offense that is going to be part of their plans for the future. They should be protecting him at all costs.
Yeah, I think you wait 3 weeks, then you send him out with a guardian cap for the rest of the season. I mean, you don't want to take any risks with your draft pick like that. I think the Giants
Yeah.
should, not that they haven't already, but I think the Giants should start tanking, get that first round secured, maybe trade for 2 first 5 picks. Like, you guys need to fucking figure something out. Get rid of Daniel Jones, man. Send him to the Raiders. Like, no, I'm just kidding. Shadur Sanders is about to be a Raider next year. That'll be lit. Uh, but yeah, give me the Bengals -3.5. Then we'll talk about the Monday video or the Monday game in the Monday video for the prize pick slip, the prop slips, all that fun stuff. And yeah, you got any other words for him?
Join the VIP. It's free money.
And again, if you don't want to pay for picks, I get it. Some people don't like paying for picks. That's fair. I'm not going to bully you into doing it. I'm going to try and pressure you, but I'm not going to bully you. Join the free Discord. We're giving out free shit in there every single day. It's ridiculous, man. The value's unmatched. Best in the space. Join it now, and we'll see you guys in the next one.